Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. Welcome into this week's edition of Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Welcome. How are y'all today?
Good. How are you?
All right. Very, very good. We've got a brand new month.
Yes.
Can you believe it's September already?
It flew by after we got through January and February.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, you know, over the summertime and really the last couple of months, it's just, you know, with the school starting back, and I think you've got one more week in Marion County, and the kids come back on the 8th, I believe.
Oh, that's
day
nice.
after Labor Day.
Everybody used to go back on after Labor Day, and then we
did.
forgot all about that. Starting, some of them go in July now.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, why.
Of course, they get more time off during the year because they get
Right.
the fall break, Christmas break. Somebody told me
Thanksgiving,
they're in Marion County, they're going to have to skip some of those breaks because
Right.
of being so late starting back. So something I heard the other day.
I think we always got a spring break when I was in school. We never got a fall break.
Yeah,
No, we didn't get a fall break either. And I think that's some of the things that have changed. It gives them a little bit more time to you know, take a week off, or you know, like in October or something. And you're right. I don't think they're going to be able to do that with a shortened.
because they're playing. Them played two
football. Yeah.
Oh, you've already started.
Oh yeah, 2 years.
Wow.
Alabama's played 1 week, and Tennessee's played 2 weeks in football.
Gosh, I didn't
Whitwell
realize.
played North Jackson.
North Jackson.
last
Yep,
week.
we were there last Friday night. Yeah, and you know, I was really impressed. I was there, and you could see families. I mean, on both sides, you could see where the groups were sitting together, and then there'd be a space. So everybody was doing their social distancing.
That's good.
You know, I don't know if they limited capacity to a third or a half. I don't know what the Tennessee laws are, but you could. I mean, everybody was
Somebody
doing
told
that.
me they were going to only do 25%.
That may be, and I mean, there wasn't
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
how
people
you
on either
determine.
side.
Who gets in?
I don't know how you determine 25%, but that's what I heard.
But the people that were there, you know, they'd be 3 or 4. You could tell they were family, and then they'd be space, and there's nobody setting them like that. They just did it on their own. So I thought, well, that's pretty
good.
cool.
That's good.
You know, they on both sides. You know, so I always like to go to Whitwell. They're always very
Good people.
good, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, just treat you like you're local. You know, which is good because you know. But I really and they got nice facilities there, and we video, of course, to play on TV Whitwell, and we also do North Jackson. So we had 2 camera crews there. I said the lady that let me in, she checked my temperature. I went to the pass gate and talking. She's one of the school teachers there, and we were talking to me. She said, "Well, you're going to win no matter what." I said, "Yeah." Yeah, we do both, so we're a winner either way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So they're
like
taking
that.
temperatures and everything
Yes.
for everybody. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, on the way in. So, and I was impressed with the just the general public, how they had the cheerleaders fenced off where you know the regular public couldn't get into where they were at, and they had enough room they could spread out. So it was, you know, that was the first outdoor event that I've really been to.
I still haven't been to one.
To see all that, and they were doing it on their own, so it's a good job.
It is.
And that's what it's going to take if we're going to have sports this year. Everybody's going to have to do that because, you know, right now, 2 weeks ago we had both of our volleyball teams in quarantine. They came out and went back to playing. Now our
Did somebody test positive on the team?
had one,
Did
so
you?
and then now our entire softball varsity softball team is in quarantine through September the 12th.
So
And
go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish. How does that work with the schooling? I mean, do
They just go home. I mean, they go home and they do online schooling.
They do online.
I'm
I was
assuming
wondering
there.
if they did online.
Right now, they're doing in class at the school.
Well, no, I mean, once
Normally.
normally. Oh yeah, they're back in school. Have been since the 13th.
Hey, have they had any cases since they've?
We've
I hadn't
had
heard of it.
total cases as of yesterday. We've had 8 students and 9 faculty. And
Since they started
since
class?
they started,
Yeah.
and some of them are already back because it only lasts 2 weeks. Some fall off and they'll get another one, and and that
But-
type of thing.
But this thing I get confused about. Those people that tested positive have been around everybody, right?
They do contact tracing, and there's guidelines, and they send ones that have been around them. They go into quarantine. So, like the softball team, I'll use that for example. Let's say there's 25 people, 25 students and faculty. Those 25 will go into quarantine for the appropriate days, and then they get tested. And if they've had no symptoms or whatever, they get to come back.
After
Yeah.
is it still 10 days? Because I'd heard they were wanting to up it to 20 days.
I'm not really sure. I think we're still at a 10-day,
10-day.
no symptoms, test positive, get to come back. I'm not sure.
That's what I used
Yeah.
on 2 of my employees that tested positive about a month ago. Was 10 days.
It may be 14. I know I've heard 14. I've
14,
heard like
heard
you.
12, 14, and I've heard, now they're saying 20, and then now they're saying, scientists or whatever saying that the mask, may not be that helpful, and I'm sitting there going, so you never know.
Yeah.
It changes.
Never.
It changes daily.
You're exactly
It does.
right. High school football starts back in Georgia this week.
Does it?
Like I say, 2 weeks in Tennessee, 1 week in Alabama. So, and then this will be the first week for Georgia. So, getting back
Well,
in.
I haven't heard of any of the football players or anybody, having any symptoms or anything. So
No.
Everything's going pretty smooth.
As a matter of fact, and I can't speak to, I don't know who all because but I do know that that a lot of these students and faculty don't even have any symptoms. I mean, they are asymptomatic, but they tested positive, so they have to treat them as that they've got it.
Yeah.
Whether
Well, I
they
seen on-
ever develop a symptom.
I seen on news the other night where they've got a test kit you can buy, and you just put a sample, test it, it turns blue, you're positive, red, negative, whatever. But I don't know if that's on the market or not.
I don't think it's
seen
on the market
You've
yet,
seen
but it's
those,
coming.
heard
Yeah.
ya?
Yeah. No, it's instant test.
It's a little portable test that you can buy when they get it. I guess when they get it perfected to the point they trust it,
Yeah.
you can just buy it off the shelf and
Wonder
just
how
go
much
out
this
there
one
and
cost.
$5. They say.
And of course,
Oh,
the
my gosh,
controversial
it's not
thing that came out over the weekend that the CDC had redone their cause of deaths and came out that only 6% of all of the 190,000, only 6% of them actually died from COVID by itself. The rest of them all
They had
all
other factors.
right?
Overweight, smoking,
Diabetes.
diabetes,
All
all
kinds of different
contributed to
things.
their
Yeah.
death.
All kinds, and only 6% of all of those that had died didn't have any known preconditions.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that still doesn't matter. I mean, I may have a precondition that I don't even know now. That if I was to get it, it could cause me harm or could come to the front. Well, you've had this going on. We just had not diagnosed it. So anyway, thought that was interesting. Got our first break. We've got another sheriff here, and we're going to bring him on. So stay with us. More to come on Sheriff's Talk.
Rising Fawn Hardware is your place for all your gardening needs. Seeds, onion sets, cabbage, strawberry plants, and more. A complete line of home hardware items, too. Everything for the house, including plumbing, hardware, and metal roofs. Plus, Rising Fawn Hardware has everything you need for your livestock, including name brands like Nutria, Tucker, and Faithway. Always with a hometown atmosphere, it's Rising Fawn Hardware. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Open 8 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 8 to noon on Wednesday. Even open on Saturday from 8 until 4. Rising Fawn Hardware.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Landers McLarty Ford of Fort Payne is your destination for quality automobile service. Landers McLarty is second to none when it comes to service on your vehicle. You can drop by and see us on Glen Boulevard Southwest in Fort Payne. Call our service department at 256-845-1101 or schedule an appointment online at LandersMcLartyFordFortPayne.com. So whether you drive a Ford or any other make of car, SUV or truck, see our ASE certified and Ford factory trained technicians today at Landers McLarty Ford in Fort Payne.
Welcome back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN-TV, and we welcome you back. It's 1st of September. We welcome another sheriff with us.
Good to be here. A little late, but I'm here.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, you know, that sometimes the sheriffing business gets in the way, but y'all doing it.
Yeah, we had a meeting couldn't get out of. So.
I heard that. Well, welcome to the show. In this segment, we want to talk a little bit about the last 2 or 3 shows. Actually, I've talked about arresting folks that have been stealing cars, but you've you just recently had a gun stolen out of a vehicle, and you got I guess some type of I guess it's a warning. We need to lock our cars and
Yes.
Take your keys out.
Yes.
A lot of the car thieves that we've arrested here during the interview, some of them would actually cooperate and interviewed, and we thought they were talented car thieves, but to come find out they just walking through parking lots and
Looking for keys.
or walking through subdivisions, and I was amazed at the people that just leave their keys in their car. I mean, I've never done that, but take your keys out. If you got valuable items, put them under the seat, hide them or something, because they're going to look through there. And if they see a pocketbook or something valuable there, they're just going to knock the window out.
Mm-hmm.
One area close to us that they've been stealing a lot of cars, Walmart up in Lookout Valley. And
Have they?
a lot of them, they've found leave their doors unlocked or leave keys in there, and they're just taking, and they're watching. They're sitting back watching when you get out of your car if you lock it up or leave the keys in or whatever. But we've had a few stolen from up there.
is it from Dade County residents that's had their? I mean,
No, I don't think so. I think it's people from other.
The bad part about when you get into a city the size of Chattanooga, where y'all may deal with a vehicle being stolen, one a week or once every 2 or 3 weeks or something, sometimes they may have 3 or 4 a day
At least.
in the entire tri-state area. So it doesn't make the news as often.
Right.
It's just something that just
After a
happens.
while, you just kind of
Right. I mean,
They used to have auto theft division. I don't know
They
if they
still
do they.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know,
Got
the
2 or 3 in there.
But I don't want to say it's routine, but that they, because of the vast numbers, it may get more routine to them, and where y'all would, of course, bring it like you're bringing it to us and putting it out there and lock your cars. We've had a rash of this, that, and the other. Sometimes a rash to them may be 100 in a month or something. Which if they're only doing 50, they're going, well, that's a typical month. It's still none of it's good, but. Is there any? Can y'all figure out at this point? Is there any rationale, I think you'd said a couple of weeks, Sheriff, is the fact that they're just stealing them and driving them for a while.
Yeah, they're not. We're finding they're not going to chop shops or anything like that. They're just joyriding.
Joyride until they
ditching the cars,
ditching them, then stealing another one. We're not. We hadn't traced anything back to a chop shop. But we actually caught we had a group of about 5 or 6, and the sheriff helped. We got some of them in jail from down here, and then the last Thursday, I believe it was, they got at him in Hamilton County, and they're on Highway 153 or somewhere, and they recognized him and he ran. But anyhow, they were approaching a railroad crossing, and the gate or the little thing come down. He just run through it, and they said it just shattered. And I was talking to some of the officers. I said, "What'd y'all do?" And they said, "Well, we followed him. Everybody beat the train, but then he turned right and was going up the tracks, and they run him up through there about a couple hundred yards, and finally they hemmed him in and caught him." So
good.
That was the last that we were. There was about 5 of them, and I think we caught a couple of them down here, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So we hope our car thefts, but they weren't being stolen in Marion County. They were stolen in Hamilton County. So Hamilton County Sheriff's Department worked with us a lot on this because a lot of it's happening in their jurisdiction. So we got a lot of help out of them and got them all in jail, we hope.
Well, I mean, that's great advice to be able to lock your cars, even if they're sitting in the driveway, sitting at home, because, a lot of times if you get out, even at a Walmart or something.
Gas station. Lock your cars.
Now, I've caught myself getting out and think, well, I'll just, get out and go in, and I thought, no, I better cut it off. Or if I'm pumping gas, supposed to cut it off anyway.
You wouldn't believe how many cars have been stolen. They stop and get $10 and leave it running, run in and pay, and come back out and their car's gone.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah. Beware of your surroundings when you come up to. If you want,
because that person that's going to steal that car is going to be standing right there close.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Watching you.
Well, especially at a convenience store, they may be at the corner of the building just waiting. They may be looking for the ride to take them down the road.
They know eventually somebody's going to pull up there and pump $10 worth and leave it running to run in and get paid, and gives them opportunity to take off.
Are you still getting a lot of reports of skimmers?
Yeah.
We haven't lately.
Ours has slowed down a little bit.
I hope it stays that way.
I had a guy call me Sunday that lived in Kimball that got a call that he'd won the $5 million lottery, and he called me and I said, what other one? But we had.
Well, I mean the skimmers on the gas.
Skimmers.
No,
not scams. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
No, the skimmers.
No, we haven't.
That was going on quite a bit for a while, and I think I know in Georgia's Department of Agriculture, I don't know who does it in Tennessee, where they come out and put who monitors the gas. Probably is the Department of Agriculture, but I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, and they're putting stickers across it now so you can tell if it's been tampered with. So
right.
And if I pull up and it's cut, I'm not using that pump.
No.
Or I'll go in and pay cash.
Well, if I'm traveling and I'm getting gas by the interstate, I pay cash for it. I don't.
That's probably a great idea.
Yeah.
That really is a great idea, and we've gotten to become.
Because I think most time they target stations that are near the interstate. They're not going to go in downtown Trenton and put one on. They're going to do it at an interstate.
High volume,
and we had a class on a couple of years ago, and it's just amazing how quick they could do this. They had actually had a key to open the door. It was putting it in there, and it had a little camera and stuff, and it was sitting back, showing their PIN number. And it was amazing how a guy could take a credit card and in 10 minutes have it swapped over to somebody else's name.
Now, one thing I won't do is use a PIN number anywhere. I'll run all the credit. That's one of the things because.
Well, they say that a bank card or whatever, if you got a big sum of money in there, they can get all of it and it'd be hard to get it back. But a credit card, I think federal law, the only thing you're responsible for is $500.
Yeah, it's most of the institutions. I mean, it'll fall back on them, and and I know that some of the local banks have different type policies on that. and they watch it pretty good. They watch. I know some of the local banks here on your credit card / debit card. There's some states that you can't run unless you call them because they're the top 5 most fraudulent states for credit card fraud. They have them blocked.
Really?
So if somebody, what they call batching, when they dump their money, if you run that card and it happens to be in one of those states, it'll decline it, and only because they've got it blocked.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah, I have too.
And plus limits on them too.
Do what?
And plus monetary limits.
Right. Yeah, there's only so much per day, so you have to call your local bank, have them take that off, and then you can run it, and then they'll put it back on. And it's to their benefit because they're liable, if somebody was to do that. And then, and you got to think of small banks. It could really, really hurt them. Some of the bigger banks, the national banks, some of them have that cost figured in the daily of doing business.
The fees and stuff, yeah.
To be able to do that. But yeah, I've had to call and ask them to take it off. I need to make a payment to this state and this company, and they'll take it off because they do have limits. Also, you're right on doing that. It's terrible. We live in in a country that we have to do that, but
it's sad.
Just up with the times. I mean, that's the way things changed. Technology brings in a whole lot more problems, and you just got to deal with them.
The crime and the element has always been here. People breaking the laws or going over the limits of everything. But you're right. The electronic crimes, really over the last 30 years, that's been a whole new division of law enforcement.
I think it's probably been just really jumped the last, 5?
Yeah, quite a bit.
5 to 10.
Sure has.
Yeah, 5 to 10.
Yeah.
I know GBI now has a division that's all they deal with is fraudulent, credit card crimes and any kind of financial crimes that they handle. So we were working a big case of diverting funds from a certain person, and we called GBI, and they had their financial division take care of that case, and so it was pretty big.
You would think that, of course, I go back and kind of equate it to the fact that when we had all of the different the spice ingredients that they would change every year. They'd enact a law, and then they would change one ingredient and then make it legal again, and it's playing with the laws. I kind of look at that too on the computer side. They can change one little code, and y'all can make inroads on this crime, and then they'll change it just a bit, and you have to do it all over again, which is, it's a game of cat and mouse, I guess. Trying to, but all of that cyber stuff is way above my pay grade.
Mine too.
Yeah,
I got left out of that part.
I did too. We're going to take another break. Stay with us. Lots more to come on Sheriff Talk.
Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
The power to work. That's what you get with genuine Husqvarna products. And now through the Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engines, you also have the power to get free Husqvarna Power products. Purchase a Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower and get a free backpack blower, plus a free string trimmer. Then you'll be ready to take on the great outdoors with the power of Husqvarna. The Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engine is the clear choice for great value and superior performance. See the full line of quality Husqvarna products at York Small Engines, located on Highway 41 in Jasper. Stop in and see the new Husqvarna Fleet packages, or give them a call at 942-3920. 865. With your new Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower, you'll get a free backpack blower and free string trimmer. For a limited time, get no down payment and 0% financing, available up to 48 months. See dealer for details. Husqvarna, the power to get it done.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig Internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
Attention! Have you been diagnosed with asbestos, lung cancer, or mesothelioma? Were you a worker in a shipyard, or a railroad worker, a pipe fitter, or a worker in the oil and gas industry? Worked in construction, or a Navy vet? If you worked in any of these professions, were exposed to asbestos, and now have lung cancer or mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call 855-210-7838. That's 855-210-7838.
Back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. You know, and a lot of folks, of course, I mean, you cannot get any kind of national news turned on unless you see all of the unrest and the rioting that's going on, and we've got people getting shot. It's a terrible situation. I mean, it really is. And you know, the narrative has been to blame law enforcement, which I think is a terrible thing to do. You should never blame, you know, in any type of situation, any type of business, when you're dealing with people, you're always going to have a small percentage that does not comply. And y'all have often said that, yes, there are people that you bring on because they're people, you know, that do not fit the bill to be a police officer or any type of worker that's going to be around the public, and you get rid of those.
Well, if you have, and I know that y'all probably seen this. I mean, you have officers that just seem like every time they're involved in an incident, they have problems. You've seen those, haven't you? And we all know who they are, and actually, nowadays those men or women need to be off the force because, you know, and I was talking about, you know, I'm redoing my policy procedures. I have to do an annual thing, so I called CTAS, which is our County Technical Assistance System out of Knoxville, and they sent me a sample of policy, 300 pages, but it tells you this policy, so you know, it tells you when everything, you know. But anyway, I'm just incorporating my old policy into this. But also, we got a message from the Tennessee Sheriff Association last week. The governor's put new guidelines down for deadly force, and then we had to incorporate that policy to intervene. Y'all had to do that yet?
Not yet.
And basically what that came down from the incident in Minneapolis. If some of the other officers intervened in all this, we probably wouldn't be here now. And I watched that film, you know, the officer had the knee on the guy's neck. If you remember, there was a rookie standing there beside him, and he was just running around. I think he probably knew deep down that, you know, he needed to take his knee off, but he was like 6 months on the force or 8 months, and this guy was like a 19-year veteran. You know, and you have to understand that. I guess he thought if I did something like that, I'm going to be an outcast. But I tell my guys, those days are over with now. You know, you better be you won't be an outcast. So we had to put that, in our deadly force policy, which was a great policy that I got from the Sheriff Association, put out by the governor, and
so it's a
duty
notice
duty to intervene.
Duty to intervene. I like that.
Yeah, well, I do too. You know, and at some point I'm going to have all my guys and girls there, and I'm going to go over it with them and say, listen, you know, years ago, you know, Sheriff can tell you this. Years ago, you know, if you, you know, if somebody was getting roughed up by the police and you intervened, you'd be
blackballed.
Outcast.
Yeah.
Well,
you'd have to go find another job. But I tell my guys nowadays, hey, them days are over with.
Well, I mean,
if
and I will say this from the outside.
And I was standing
looking in,
behind one of my officers, and it doesn't say just the sheriff department. It says any law enforcement, highway patrol, anywhere. If you pull up and highway patrol just being officer being too aggressive, and you're sitting there, you've got a duty to stop him.
Well, I mean, to me, just an outside looking in, common sense. I mean, you know, if you see an officer that's breaking the law, you've got just as much responsibility to stop that crime as you do any other crime, or a potential violation or
whatever. I tell
whatever.
my guys, when the cuff's on, the fighting stops. You know, you just cannot hit somebody with cuffs. I mean, you might want to, because he's probably saying all kinds of terrible, or he or she saying all kinds of terrible things to you. But if you can't control that, you need to go find another job.
Yeah. Most of you good cops get into law enforcement because they want to be good cops, and they of all people don't like bad cops, and they'll weed them out. You know. And it's got to that point, like the sheriff says, that you don't just sit back and watch anymore. You got to intervene.
You got to
stop anything that doesn't look right.
I mean, you'll have some officers that just every call they go on, they have controversy. They're, you know, you can push somebody far enough to make them fight you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you ought to train to de-escalate
it.
De-escalate a situation.
But you know, those people don't need to be on the force. You know, I tell my guys, you know, if you say you're under arrest and you say I ain't going, well, do what you got to do. But once you get him restrained, don't take it personal. He says, I'm going to shoot your house up. I'm going to.
The verbal abuse
I've never seen
is
that
rough.
done.
Hey, and I'll be the first to say I've seen it firsthand. The verbal abuse that officers and medics and everybody
jailers, don't leave out jailers.
Detention, especially detention officers, because that's all they can really do back there is to be aggressive with their language.
Right.
It is you have to be self-controlled to be able to handle the verbal abuse that you
know,
get.
you see a lot of self-control that these start off as protests, end up as riots. When you got lines of officers standing there, and people's in front of you, calling you this, shooting you, using foul language, or and I know deep down they just want to reach out and
they do.
Grab them so bad they could. But
that's almost human nature.
It is human nature.
Because you're being verbally attacked,
verbally abused,
and it takes restraint. It takes a lot of restraint for the. I think that's the average person does not see what emergency services as a whole has to endure at times.
Evan, I just hired an officer from another county. I won't say where it's at, surrounding county. Before I did, they brought to my attention that he had gotten a chase, and somehow we had the footage of it. I think one of my officers might have assisted, but they showed him in the chase with this guy, and the guy got out on foot and ran. He chased him down, got him subdued, handcuffed him, and while he was laying on the ground, he said, "You okay?" He kept, make sure the suspect's okay. He didn't ambulance or anything. He talked very nice to him. Was not upset because he ran or anything. Helped him up. Said, "Here, let's put your leg underneath you and I'll raise you."
That's
up.
a good hire.
Very good. That's what made me hire him. Bo, and I said, "What you just did, you got the suspect, you got him under arrest, did your job, and now you're trying to take care of the guy and talk real nice to him and everything." I said, "Think of how that's going to look when you're sitting on the stand up there to the jury. Right. You're going to look fantastic."
Right.
And that's the way we try to hire officers, and that guy's doing a great job with me right now. So.
Well, and we've said on this show before, yes, you may have issue with a officer that's trying to take you into custody, but that's not the time to litigate it. On the side of the road is not a time to litigate it. Go through the process. Go through the process, be taken, and you will have time to have your say. It could be something that doesn't need to happen, but that's not the time to litigate it.
I bet the rookie officer from Indianapolis I was talking about earlier, I bet you 1,000 times he wished he just took his hand and pushed that guy. He probably still have his job. Now he's lost his job. He's got a possibility of going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you if you could interview him now, he'd say, "Oh, I wish I'd done something."
Or he wished he'd never gotten law enforcement.
Oh, I wish he'd never got law enforcement. But all I meant, that's what people don't understand about police work. It's a brotherhood. Yes, we can fight with each other, but don't want nobody else fighting with us.
Exactly.
But the times are here that you just you've got to if you've seen an officer abusing somebody, you've got to stop it.
Absolutely. And I have to believe over the years that's been done numerous times. I mean, I don't think that's probably anything new, but there has been times that if there's 3 or 4 officers on the scene and one is the situation is escalating between a perpetrator and an officer, another officer has intervened and kind of got between them and talked it back down. That's what they're supposed to do.
That incident happened to me probably 25, 30 years ago when I worked South Pittsburgh, Alabama Highway Patrol, chased a guy into Tennessee on the old 72. And we were on,
I was on that the other day, coming out of Richard City.
Yeah, me and the sergeant went down and assisted him, and when we got there, the guy, just as soon as he got in Tennessee, he stopped. They jerked him out, those 2 troopers, and they was being real aggressive. And my sergeant stepped in there and stopped him. And when he did that, I thought we were going to fight the troopers. Well, they turned on us like, he said, "You're in Tennessee." He said, "You're not going to mistreat that man. He's not fighting you." They were just being.
They took it personal.
They took it personal, and they was taking it out on him. And my sergeant stopped it, and I thought I thought the troopers were going to turn on us. And then
that's
the crazy thing. The guy signed the waiver and went back with him after all that. I said,
wow.
Well, your sergeant did a good job.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take another break. Stay with us here on Sheriff Talk.
When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
What are you? Chicken? We are Guthrie's Restaurant.
Check out these back-to-school specials right now at Guthrie's. Tuesday buckets, 25 fingers and 6 sauces, only $18.99 on Tuesdays. Or the Wednesday family pack feeds 4 to 6, only $30.99. Or enjoy a free large drink with the purchase of a snack box. Offers good for a limited time, Monday through Friday only from 3 until 5 p.m. at the Trenton location of Guthrie's Restaurant.
The best chicken finger sauce in the world!
Looking around your home thinking it may be time for a new look? Let Comfort Gallery in Kimball help you make perfect choices for every room in your home. Living room, bedroom, dining room suites from all the major furniture manufacturers. If we don't have what you need in the store, browse our full-color interactive kiosk to find exactly what you need. And don't forget a new mattress set. After all, sleeping well makes everything better. At Comfort Gallery, we offer free delivery and setup, 1-year free layaway, and 6 and 12 months, same as cash. Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street, 1 mile north of I-24, exit 152A in Kimball, Tennessee.
So, you have a large annuity, or maybe a structured settlement on an auto or motorcycle accident paid out over a number of years. But the payments are so tiny, they're not helping you. You've got the money, but you can't get your money. If you need your money now, and you're considering borrowing someone else's money, stop. Call and get your money now. It's a quick, simple process. It all starts with a confidential call. We'll handle all the paperwork and get you your money. You can even get part of your money immediately and get payments on what's left. If you need money and you've got money, but it's tied up in an annuity or a structured settlement, call the number on your screen and get your money now. We'll even give you a $100 gift card just for getting a free quote. Call right now. If the lines are busy, please call back.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Welcome back. And I don't know what y'all were talking about just then during the break.
About storm, about the hurricane stuff.
Oh, okay. I did want to make mention coming up this weekend. Actually, Labor Day is coming up this weekend. But the Alma Large, former Sheriff, Walker County, the Alma Large Stocking Full of Love Memorial Labor Day Car Show is coming up on Labor Day at the Walker County Civic Center. And it starts, I think, 11 or 12. And, you know, they're doing motorcycles and car show to raise money for the
Is it on Labor Day?
Mm-hmm. It's on Labor Day.
You know, the big car show they have at Powell's Crossroads on Labor Day, they canceled it.
I thought that they did.
And somebody said the Labor Day parade in Whitwell draws huge crowds. They've always started at 9 o'clock in the morning. Somebody told me they're going to change the time to 5 in the afternoon. I hadn't confirmed that, but and I'm probably not going to be as big as it has been in the past. I mean, usually, it's just hundreds and hundreds of people that. It's probably one of the biggest Labor Day parades in the South. And then after that, they had the car show. And last year, they had over around 325 cars, but they canceled that this year. So,
what's the big festival they have usually in the fall in Marion County? The Color Cruise.
Well, they hadn't had Color Cruise in a long time, but they have the Predator's Mills over in
Kettner Mill.
Kettner.
It's one of those meals.
Yeah. Are they having that this year, or have you heard?
I haven't heard. They usually have it October, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think, and I guess we probably don't need to be, but I don't think they're having the New Salem Festival this year.
I haven't heard either.
I think I heard that, they were at least pondering on whether they were going to do that or not. And speaking of another event, I know that the library, and I'm assuming through the newly formed chamber, they're looking at the trick or treat alley that they have on the square. That brings a couple thousand kids every year. They're wanting to have that, but they're looking to put in the guidelines of how they're going to be able to do that.
It's going to be hard. Children's Day this year that Chad McDill does every year, it's canceled. They just canceled it due to COVID. They don't know how it's going to be. So, and it takes months to prep for it, so they're just not going to be able to have it this year.
Right. We're living, hopefully not in a new normal, but we're definitely living in an uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Don't want this to be new by any stretch. I don't have a problem with watching a baseball game with no people in the stands. I really don't. If you were a Braves fan back in the 70s and 80s, you got to do that a lot.
I went to.
I was there.
Me and my dad and brother went to a Braves game back in the 80s, and that's when they had terrible teams. And they may have been 5,000 people there.
I remember going.
It was in the old
Atlanta Fulton County
stadium. It was a round stadium, and
5,000 and a 45,000.
Yeah.
Arena.
Actually, I remember they were playing the St. Louis Cardinals. I watched the St. Louis Cardinals last night. The reason I watched it last night, they have a boy that from Dunlap is pitching for them.
Oh, really?
Dakota Hudson.
Yeah. Okay.
He went to Dunlap Scorch County High School and then went on to Mississippi State and played ball, but he pitched last night and against Cincinnati. He went 7 innings and they took him out. It was 7-2. So he got his first win. His dad's an attorney there, and I see his dad a lot, Sam Hudson. So.
Cool. I didn't realize. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He never gets any. They never talk about him in the Chattanooga area because St. Louis, but he's probably the only guy that I know in the whole area that's went on to do good in baseball.
Well, I guess Dale Murphy, or not
Rick Honeycutt.
Rick Honeycutt.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking about. Rick Honeycutt. With
Fort
Oglethorpe, and I don't know why I said Dale Murphy, but Rick Honeycutt is who I was thinking.
I think
about.
he's still a pitching coach for the.
He was for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not really. I don't know if this past year was his last year or not. I can't remember. but he was for years with the Dodgers. But you know, it's good to have some normalcy back. You know, a little bit. You know, and I can't say enough about Friday night up at Whitwell. I was real impressed with the way the crowd was
good.
Social distance.
Well, in the baseball game last night, they have a sound like it's a crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
Which helps, you know.
No, it does help, you know.
Especially watching on TV, because
it's boring watching it on TV without
Well,
the crowd.
Boston's going to have to get up with their cardboard cutouts because Atlanta has a lot more in their stand.
Well, you have to pay to get them.
Yeah, Boston didn't have hardly any.
They didn't have hardly any, no.
Is that right?
Cutouts.
Somebody said it was like $300 to get that done.
Well, the Braves have just about got the stadium. Oh,
They
the
do.
bottom realm of the stadium is just about full with cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, and they're like live pictures, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, and you talk about all the different different businesses or whatever, but just the Atlanta Braves, and I don't know if y'all knew this, and I just heard this the other day, one of the Fox Business reports that we carry, I think is where I heard it from. Atlanta Braves is the only team in all of Major League Baseball that's owned publicly. They're owned by a corporation that's on the stock exchange. And so that makes all of their earnings public. And their revenue is off 95% this year. They're only collecting 5% of the normal revenue that they normally.
That's through the television,
TV. And I'm assuming most of that's coming through the television.
Commercials, yeah.
But I mean, you can imagine.
I thought that percentage would be higher.
Their revenue is off.
And look 95%. How many people are unemployed because of that, because they probably work hundreds of people during the season.
Yeah.
I heard the other day one of the teams, it seemed like St. Louis, somebody, but they said they lost $100 million so far this year. I guess ticket sales, food, advertising, everything.
Parking.
Yeah, parking.
Parking's expensive.
I mean, you know, but yeah, I mean that goes down to you know, concert in Chattanooga, the Tivoli Theater, and the folks that operate the theater and the Memorial Auditorium. And
We
all
probably
of
don't
these
have calculators that go high enough to see how much we have lost in the last 6 months.
Well, Chattanooga has become a tourist attraction. You know, that people come now. The aquarium's back open, limited, and they're doing some things, but all through the summer, where they make millions over the summer, they were shut down. You know, and all of these different folks. Now, we did get some good news, and I don't know if you know your numbers, Sheriff, but Dade County is back. We're the lowest unemployment in North Georgia. This week, we got notified we're at 4.7, and Catoosa's at 4.8 in unemployment. But we're only 1.3 higher than we were back in January.
Wow.
Our lowest unemployment is 3.3%, which is extremely low.
Yeah.
And we're back to now I think it's 4 point, is either 4.7, around 4.7. Catoosa was 1 point higher.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the unemployment is really coming back down.
That's good. I'm glad.
Well, the economy's starting to take off.
Except in that industry, in the hospitality industry, and going to concerts and going to ball games and restaurants and
cruising.
They do what?
Cruising.
You know, you can see where they're. You know, what if you'd had a lot of stock in the cruise industry?
I had a little, but not a lot. But I bought low when it first went down.
You know, that's. I mean, you know, they haven't run a cruise line in
since March.
Well, you know that back in March, you heard all the cases that were on the boats, and then
they wouldn't let
all
them
of a
off
sudden
the
it
boat.
just went quiet, and then I guess they haven't. I guess they just dry docked all the ships and just sitting there waiting on the. Can you imagine the millions they've lost?
Can you imagine Vegas?
And then right before that was
Vegas.
they had the salmonella or whatever it was outbreak on the cruise ships that hurt them for a while.
I tell you, I don't know. We're going to take our last break. We'll have more as we continue here on Sheriff Talk.
Tennessee Valley Net, your local provider of fiber optic high-speed internet, TV with over 200 digital channels available, and phone service with lots of extras. Fiber optics from TVN is expanding to many areas. Call and see if TVN is available in your area. 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net today. Bundle and save on fiber optic high-speed internet, digital TV, and phone service. All from Tennessee Valley Net. 706-657-4367. Online at tvn.net.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day and injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call now and learn how to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, on our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Sheriff Talk continues here on KWN TV. Glad that you have joined us. 1st of September and getting in. I'm just hoping that we can get all of our. We got high school underway. We got Major League Baseball. Had some problems with basketball, but NBA. Everything. And if we can get college football going, then everybody's going to be okay in the South.
I know I will be.
I think college.
Well, according to the schedule, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the schedules are going to be Southeastern teams playing each other.
Right, they are. It's going to be a 10 game.
And I seen where one of the big football teams at Midwestern were suing to
play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but I mean, if we can play. I think that may open up the schedule in the future, for the more games. Because I'm really looking forward to seeing Southeastern teams play each other.
Oh yeah.
Because that means you're going to have a tough game every week.
Every week.
You're not going to have Slippery Rock and people like that.
Yeah.
That's what I accuse Alabama fans. I said, hope y'all don't have a tough game next week against Slippery Rock or some.
What's the old country song? There ain't no easy runs. In the SEC, there ain't no easy runs.
But everybody's going to have a tough game. When is it? End of this month?
I think they.
September.
Yeah,
third week
late
September it starts.
I think it's third week. You may be right.
I think it's right.
Well,
I think so.
That's going to make it good. I mean,
I think it makes it fair.
Yeah.
Well, I liked what Nick Saban. And several other coaches have said is the fact that he feels like, and it makes sense, we can control what our players are doing a whole lot better when we're together than I can if they're at home and we're not playing. Who can control them?
Yeah.
You put them on the practice field and you put them where I can watch them. I'll watch them. I mean, that makes sense. I'm paraphrasing, but
yeah.
When I went to high school back back in the 70s, the football season, you played teams in the Sequatchie Valley: Stevenson, Bridgeport, South Pittsburgh, Jasper, Whitwell, Pikeville, Dunlap, Grundy. 10, 11 games, every one of them you played right there. And you see like you had more people there and more excitement now, they'll go halfway across state. People aren't going to travel. They would travel to Stevenson or Bridgeport. But they're not going to travel all the way out West Tennessee to watch a high school football game.
Well, in our region for Dade County, you get in the bus and you go an hour south or an hour west. Or an hour east, rather. Because all of our region games are, I think the closest, I don't even know what the Chattooga is probably our closest region game now. Mm-hmm. We got Gordon Lee that we open up with Friday night, but they're not in our region, but they're a local rival game. Because of the schedule change, we're unable to play North Sand Mountain. We were supposed to play them last Friday night, which is a big money game for both schools. Mm-hmm. Couldn't do that.
I think the South Pittsburgh-Jasper game may be to the next week or the week after. That's a big money game for you. But we've lost that in our football and basketball too, and things, Because like I said, you played the whole season. You never got out of the Sequatchie Valley or whatever. It was all right here at home. But now, they travel all over the state to play.
Yeah, and it's good to travel, but a little bit, but I understand why they do it. You understand why they do it. And being right up here on the state line in Marion County and South Pittsburgh was the same way. You got Alabama and you got Tennessee that you can have in your district. Mm-hmm. So you can have a playoff system with that. They got to stay within the TSSAA and, the Georgia High School Association, the Alabama version as well. So being right here on the line does have its limitations for sure, because I'll never forget, and I'm sure there's some people out there in Marion County and Dade that will remember this, but and you're probably you may have been there, Sheriff, back when Dade went 10-0 when McCarthy was here, and I remember the Free Press had a story leading up to the Marion County game. Marion County was tough back then, but Dade had been undefeated. I think it's like the 7th game in the season, and the Free Press story basically said, well, we'll see how good Dade is now. They're playing somebody, and I think the final score was 42-6. Dade beat Marion. That was. Do you remember that, Sheriff?
Vaguely. My senior year, we went 7-3, and it was a pretty good record back then. Coach Starkey was coach.
Really good record.
That was they wasn't in the region, so they didn't have a region schedule, and that was the skepticism, if I can talk, that the Free Press or the sports people were saying, well, they're not really playing any tough teams, but Marion County was a tough team. Mm-hmm. They were a former state champion and all kinds of stuff. So,
Our biggest rival was always Gordon Lee when I played. Of course, we're opening up Friday with them. So, that was our rival back then.
Ours was Lakeview. Always Rossville and Lakeview.
Where'd you go?
Rossville.
Oh, yeah.
But don't hold that against me.
No. Rossville Bulldogs.
That's right. Big Bulldogs.
Which is, and Chattanooga Valley Eagles. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We played them in the spring jamboree one year, and I got my knee broke on the second play of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember the Chattanooga Valley Rossville, and they combined to make Ridgeland. Mm-hmm. And,
I remember they sent out a poll for us. I was still in high school. Probably about 4 years before they built it. And I was asking for names. Of course, everybody was like,
does Rossville still have a high school?
No, they made Ridgeland. Chattanooga Valley and Rossville combined to make Ridgeland High School.
If you go the back way to
402A, yeah.
It's out there in that field, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Chattanooga Valley Road, I think.
It's 2A. Oh, is it Dry Valley or Chattanooga
Dry Valley? It's where Flavor Ridge used to be out
Happy
through
Valley.
there. Happy Valley. That's it. I knew it was a valley.
Happy
Valley.
Yep.
That's right. That's where Flavor Rich milk out through there.
Mm-hmm. But there is a Dry Valley right close to there.
There is. Really close to it.
For sure. Well, Cody's going like this,
Wrap
so
it
you know
up.
what that means, Doug.
Helicopter.
We all have a good Labor Day.
You too.
And, and everybody celebrate responsibly.
Stay
you don't
safe.
Want, you don't want these guys to have to come and break up any family discussions or anything. Unfortunately, that does happen, when everybody gets together. But we'll see you next week. Thanks for being here on Sheriff Talk. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.